How you doing, Bea?
Hello. How
You
are
at the
you?
gym? You live at the
Of
gym?
course. Yeah, something like that. It's like my second home.
Yeah. How you doing, Bea?
I'm good, and you?
I'm good. I have to say thank you for accepting to be part of the show, and
Yes.
of course, your friend. Because I somos base depuis longtemps. Ou pas capable
Yep.
de faire ça. Chaque fois que je regarde qui doit changer net, like it's like you becoming somebody else. I love this.
Yes, transforming
Avant
day
tout,
by
I have to
day.
present Beatrice Celestin. C'est une amie depuis 10 ans. 10 years we've been
Plus,
friends? Plus?
plus, like Epoch Pictra.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, 12 years.
12
Uh,
years? Ouais, regardez, 12 ans, je peux dire que Béa and I, we click instantly.
yeah.
We click, we understood each other. She understood my ground. I understood her ground. Et c'est quelqu'un que je respecte et j'admire beaucoup. Vous allez savoir, you guys gonna see why, because she's such a multitask person, such a leader, and has done so much. Beatrice,
Mm.
you were born what day? You were born when? And what happened?
September 3rd, 1981.
So you're still young. You're still young.
I'll be 40.
You're young. Okay?
Yeah.
So what
So,
happened? You grew up in Haiti, tu as grandi en Haïti?
j'ai grandi en Haïti, j'ai fait toutes mes classes en Haïti. Ensuite, je suis partie, j'ai commencé mes études à Boston. And then I
Attends,
had.
attends, attends. Avant d'aller
Mhm.
dans les études, what did you normally, est-ce que tes parents t'ont dit d'étudier quelque chose, ou bien you wanted to do something? Tell me.
Never. At school, during high school, I started like having this affinity for arts parce que je suivais mes cours en dessinant tout le temps. And I still have those notebooks où je dessinais à chaque fois qu'il y avait une classe. And then from there, yo pas jamais comme si empêché m'exprimer tête moi. And um, and then after that, I was supposed to study interior design,
Okay.
and I didn't. Quand je suis arrivé à Boston, l'école là où j'ai été, they didn't have the interior design program yet. They were gonna have it the next year, so I entered graphic design, and I fell in love with graphic design and stayed there.
And you were in
And
Boston. How long were you in Boston for?
j'ai fait 2 ans à Boston, and then we had some little family issues. My dad was sick with cancer and all these things. I came back to Haiti, and hands-on, I started learning about graphic design with some major people there. Il y avait Alain Parrette à l'époque that taught me a lot of Illustrator, and Patrice Talleyrand, who's very talented also, was showing me all about the Mac world. And I continued, practicing with them. And then Christina Guerin took me in her agency, which was Scream, and I started working there with Christina. And I remember my main account was Nissan at the time, and
So
I was
basically,
working.
you are a licensed graphic designer.
Yeah, but that's when I came back from Boston. I was not done yet, so I had a hiatus of like 2 years in Haiti. But I've been practicing with those guys I'm telling you, and then I decided there was time for me to go back overseas to finish my studies, and that's when I went to Spain.
OK. So, si tu parles de combien de temps? Tu laisses Boston, tu viens en Haïti, tu travailles
Hmm.
en Haïti comme graphic designer, et puis tu te dis, ah, I was born to do better. Or you felt inside of you that you were born to do bigger.
I felt like I needed to finish what I started studying. I'm born in a year where I still have that old mentality that believes in diploma, yet I have that new mentality that is a go-getter and a hustler. And I think I have both inside of me. It's very much of a pride for me to be able to achieve something scholar-wise. A proof is right now I'm doing my master's in business administration, and but at the same time, I am that go-getter hustler that will create and try to make something out of basically nothing, right?
Tu vas en Espagne, tu passes combien de temps en Espagne?
Je fais 3 ans en Espagne.
Et tu étudies quoi?
I finished my graphic design with an expertise in branding.
Et pourquoi ça a retourné à Haïti?
I
Pour qui ça tourne Haïti?
okay. Honestly, I was not coming back to Haiti. But it was difficult to find the papers to stay in Spain, although I had companies that wanted me to work for them. But you know, graphic design is not like you studied nuclear science. So they were like, you know, there are two people in chômage in Spain. They want to give Spanish people, graphic designers, priority to give jobs before they give to a foreigner.
Que bail ou étranger au travail, faut make sure que les haïtiens qui joignent le travail. Ah, make sure que les moun dans pays qui se travail. Ça c'est un bagage que nous même en Haïti supposé appliquer.
Yes.
Pas un problème non que nous avons problème ressources humaines, pas un problème que nous avons problème éducation, pas un problème que nous avons pour toute qualité de problème. Mais leur pays décide investir dans le monde qui dans le pays avant que le point étranger, ça est important. Pas dire que pour pas pour étranger parce que réaliser que les plus facile pour un étranger, mais même peut-être pas me frustrer, me dire ah, on va faire spectacle, on dit you know what, tout on travaille avec ingénieurs sont nous. Mais guess what? Toujours dit on travaille ingénieurs sont nous, même les ingénieurs sont à pas apprendre, ingénieurs sont pas maintenant.
Yes. Surtout pour les métiers qui sont plus courants. Like I'm telling you, you know, you're dimly carrément. They were like, you know, if you were that big scientist with a peel and everything, sure, they would hand you the papers right away. But you're a graphic designer. You know how many graphic designers are looking for jobs? You know, so yeah. And then I moved to New York.
Okay.
I was in New York for 4 months. I was at a friend's. And came a point I was like, you know what? I need to go back home. Because there's that pride also to bring whatever it is that you achieved home, because I had achieved a lot in Spain. I excelled at the school. I excelled in competitions I had over there where I won 9 awards of excellence in design. I came out top of my class and top of the school.
Big up!
Yeah, and I was the only Haitian it was a small school, a small art institute. We were 200 students and 33 different nationalities. And the little Haitian girl came out top.
Guess what? Pour réaliser ça, quel que soit le pays haïtien aller, nous toujours briller dans toute bagaille.
Yes.
Ça a arrangé. Ça a arrangé. Je regarde une génération d'Haïtiens qui partent au Canada après Duvalier. Il y a ces gens qui ont brillé dans la médecine, dans le professeur, dans toute bagaille. Et c'est qu'il y a Haïtien classe ça une classe de pouvoir, de majorité au Canada. Parce que c'est eux qui ont éduqué au moment, si on réalise ça en 2021. Faut pas que nous avons une grosse proposition parce que il a brillé depuis des années et c'est ça qui a privé Haïti. Nous avons exporté un peu. Nous avons exporté moun. Et nous avons réalisé que le pays n'a pas marché. C'est moun yo kwale, c'est des brignes.
Exactement. Ou perdre tout brigno.
Le brigno allé, il a brillé dans notre pays. Alors que tu as utilisé là pour le pays. But continue, you came back, that's a beautiful thing. Oui, mais le moun yo tourné. Malgré tout, parce que je toujours parce que moun yo pas d'option. Non. So décision.
What? Yeah, c'est une décision. And I was like, you know what? My talent, I better bring it back to Haiti. Je suis arrivé en Haïti and my first job was at Gold's Gym. And I was responsible of marketing for Gold's Gym. And inside Gold's Gym, I learned a lot about fitness marketing and fell in love even more with fitness. And then after that, when Gold's Gym closed and Brigitte opened Fit Zone, Brigitte that was working with me at Gold's Gym, she showed me a lot of things. You know, I started training with Brigitte over there, actually, Brigitte and Mark. I was doing boxing with Mark, and Brigitte was actually teaching me how to run on a longer time on the treadmill because I was not performing in the cardio stuff.
And c'est le trajet de Beatrice, the graphic designer, and she didn't stop there. She went to a job and she learned about graphic design, but she evolved. What happened?
Yes, I evolved in the marketing sphere where I was still doing graphic design also. And then after that, when Gold's Gym closed, I did a little stage again. I came back to Christina for a little while because I never stopped really working for Christina. You know, even when I was over there, I would do little jobs just to get some money. And then I went to Digicel. That was my first corporate.
You know, that's where I met you.
Yes. That's where we first met. And I went to Digicel. I was their senior graphic designer in-house. It was intense over there, but if I had to do it all over again, I would do it because it gave me a great experience. But the funny thing about Digicel is that I entered Digicel exactly the same day as Martin Booth, and we met the week before at Mosaic, and Dume was like, that's going to be your boss, right? I'm like, oh, who, what, where, when, how? And Dume was like, yeah, that's the new CEO of Digicel. I was like, okay. So interesting enough, and I can also say that Martin was one of the best boss that I had, because he was that leader that would listen to his employees, and I really like that about him. And I learned a lot with the corporate world through Martin.
Excusez-moi pour couper parole, parce que après besoin de prêter attention, l'homme on a parlé pour apprendre. Premier bagage qu'on dit, c'est qu'en Espagne, il n'y a pas bon travail parce que je te dis comme ça que c'est mon pays qui a pas de travail avant.
Yeah.
Deuxième bagage, c'est que vous avez un choix. Ou choisir tourner. Parce que vous toujours pensez ou obligé de tourner. Non.
Non,
qui sont qualifiés, qui ont des diplômes, qui ont droit dans le pays, choisis Haïti.
Yep.
Ou dit comme ça que Martin Booth qui était boss à l'époque, ça qui marque ou même, c'est que he listen. C'est pas que un pile monde pas fait, et même si ça va apprendre, chaque jour va apprendre message ça. Des fois nous parler, mais est-ce que nous attendez nous?
Yes.
Continue, Bea.
So at Digicel, the fact that I had a leader like Martin, and with the performance that I was giving, he gave me enough opening to do certain things that I've always wanted to implement, and he trusted me to do them. And one of my biggest outcomes from Digicel was when I did Itutech at the Caribbean.
I remember.
You remember?
Est-ce que vous avez dit qui ça Itutech?
Itutech was a tech fair. Itutech was a tech fair, and I've always had this attachment to trade shows, fair type of events, which we're going to come to in a few years after. You already know that. And I told Martin that we needed to participate, and I wanted to give Digicel the best booth inside there. And when I had presented the director of marketing at the time, Tatiana, the project, Tatiana was like, no, it's over budget and everything. I was like, damn it, I need to do this thing. And I went to Martin. I'm like, Martin, please come see, let me do this. It's going to be good for Digicel. And he's like, okay, what's the budget? And I gave him the budget. He's like, that's high, right? I'm like, yes. He's like, but I trust you. You do it, but I'm warning you, don't disappoint me. Because if you disappoint me, it's not going to be good for you. And I'm like, okay, I won't disappoint. And shit, I didn't disappoint. We had the best damn booth.
C'est pas qui belle ça dit, c'est pas ça about Martin, non. C'est l'homme qui faut confiance assez.
Yeah.
Et tout le monde parle de ça ici. Moi, cité plusieurs noms. Je toujours cité non Cole, toujours cité non l'autre monde. And people don't understand how much it means. L'homme qui doit faut confiance. Et puis, nous just do. Quand nous bagaille, moi, quoi là où. Guys, c'est un mot qui est important. Surtout que, quel que soit mon ouïe aujourd'hui, à regarder live ça, nous tous là, qu'à un moment, ou bien un moment dans la vie, nous, que nous besoin de des mots ça. Ou monde qui dit nous, I trust you.
Yeah.
I believe in you. I'm here for you. And tout autant pas, game moment ça yo, ou pas comprendre le, des fois, d'après les mots gratitude, then like you always say thank you. Guess what? Parce que ti mot ça yo, ti ça moun nan ka faire, nous les ti, c'est des gros bagages liés qui ka changer la vie ou. Leur moun bon chance, leur moun croit là ou, leur moun a poussé, leur moun a cheerleader. So aujourd'hui, sous nos positions, que au ka cheerleader au moun, ko ka pousser au moun, ko ka trust au moun, fait. Parce que regarde ces moments ça moun ça t'attend pour l'éclater.
And you know what? I think in that sense also, I've been blessed to have had bosses that trusted me like 100%. And I also think that it comes with a degree of building a great relationship okay, and being transparent and a degree of humility and loyalty. It all comes with a package of attitude, I think. And you might not have it right away, instinctivement, but if you want to go somewhere and you learn how to build those qualities into you, then, you know, you get there. I mean, Glenn, we know each other for a while. You were not that patient before, but you grew to be that more patient person, that more poised person that didn't have to let herself get affected by each and every little thing. And I was the same way. I used to be a ticking bomb, right? But then you learn with experience. And I was fortunate enough to have leaders above me that would show me, pave me that way, right? And from Christina in Scream to Pascal Dawood in Gold's Gym to Martin Wood in Digicel, and after that to Popol, Cineas at Tekra, and then the MSA guys, for which I'm a consultant right now, you know, that trust also comes with the fact that I deliver what I say I deliver. I will deliver. You know, if I tell you I'm going to deliver this, then best believe I'm going to deliver that. And authenticity builds great relationship. That's what I think.
Crazy. You know, whenever I have these lives, I get very emotional because people have no idea. When I have the live, you might be all the way picturing the live, but I feel the energy. I feel everything you're saying because that's what's going on with me these days. Mwen tem ap seti enerji Haiti, mwen balance e chosa balance because
Yeah.
tem enerji negatif tak pase, men le matin lem vin la, c'est comme si d'atou lem partager ou interview a moun parler, mwen partage expérience ou bien que je parle du thé, etc.
Mm-hmm.
That balance me back. Like, I start the morning positively. Beatrice,
Yeah.
je voulais parler surtout de toi-même qui a
Mm-hmm.
décidé, who decided to go into fitness. And not only any fitness,
Yes.
you went into bodybuilding.
Yes.
What happened?
Well,
Why? When? Where? Talk to
let
me.
me tell you, I've always been this active person. Actually, I was at Regines. I did 7 years of ballet over there. And I was at school, I always loved PE, right? It was like great times for me whenever it was education sportive class. And then after that, I was always at the gym, but really getting into bodybuilding. When I got into Gold Gym, I had a better vision of what fitness is all about. And then after that, in 2011, 2012, I started really like getting more into it and investing much more of my time. And then fell in love with bodybuilding. And in 2014, actually quit alcohol to choose fitness. And I used to be a heavy drinker. Okay. And, but it's all rooted by one single thing: depression. I mean, with everything that you've seen, I just told you that I've achieved and everything, but I'm a depressive person. This is my reality, and I've been in a very dark hole in my life. Okay? And art and fitness are the two channels, and I will always repeat it like a broken record, that have saved my life, and that is therapy for me, basically. That helps me going. They keep me going, and they became my ultimate drug. So that's how I got into fitness on a personal level. But being that sort of hustler that I can be, I turn everything into a project and I try to make business out of everything.
You said something here I didn't know. Sorry. And
Yeah.
people usually don't talk about that.
No.
Et ce sont des sujets qu'on doit parler. People have to talk
Yep.
about this subject.
I
Because
actually had exposed that in my first podcast when I opened up about it. Yeah. And I did it because I know that it was time for me to deliver the message, and I knew that it could help other people that are going through that route, right? And yes, in 2000, It was 2003. I attempted suicide. I was saved. I was saved. The next thing when I woke up, I was at the hospital with a bunch of things connected to me, and they were like pumping my stomach out from all the shit that I had swallowed. But I can tell you that much, that after this chapter of my life was the trampoline that made me go up and never look back again.
Sorry. Beatrice, how come you never told me this?
Now you know. No filter, right?
I don't want to talk about it, and I want to talk about it. Do you want to talk about it? What
It's
happened?
okay. It's okay. I came to a point of my life where I couldn't find a purpose. But looking back right now from my perspective today, I think I couldn't find a purpose because I didn't carry enough self-love. I didn't know how to love myself. And I was always loving everybody else but myself. But how can you love somebody else without loving yourself, right? So it comes back to you, it hits you back, because you get disappointments and you think you get those disappointments because you're not good enough, because you're not pretty enough, because you're not this enough, because you're not that enough. And, you know, you crack. You crack. But in my case, it's almost like I had to hit rock bottom to realize who I was and how powerful I was. Because once that happened, from the hospital, when I realized what I did, there's also that phase of guilt. And after that phase of guilt, now, how do I rebuild from that? And that would be the first time that I would hold a brush and a canvas and start painting.
I remember that show you had at where the Dance for Life is now. What was the name? There was a club there.
What?
And you had your
Heaven?
show, your painting show.
Oh, Garden Studio. That was in 2012. That was actually my fourth show.
So basically, à travers la dépression, tu t'es trouvé.
Yeah, I mean, I'd learned to find myself. I'd learned, you know, I woke up and I was like, what did I do? Because when I was at the hospital, I had people coming to see me that I didn't even know. And then after that, I would realize that they were brothers, friend of my brother's, my eldest brother. And I didn't know these guys. And they were concerned. And I woke up and I was like, okay, what did I just do? Why? Is it really what I want? And then I decided to go to therapy. And I did therapy with Roselyne Benjamin, la maman de Mikaben, which is a great therapist. And she gave me some techniques that I still use today. When I'm in my blues, and one of those techniques is to write down. You take a notebook and you start writing. And when you're in that blue moment, what you write is going to be dark, it's going to be negative, but you keep going, because at a certain point, you're going to write beautiful things. And once you start writing beautiful things, you feel better. And once you feel better, you're like, okay, again, let's do it. And it's a battle. It's a daily battle. And some people don't believe that depression exists, but guess what? It exists. And you have to be able to face that it exists, and that some people suffer from it, and that there is a way to deal with it, right? It's part of life, right? I remember I was watching a video of Jay Shetty when he was saying that life is never like this. Because once it's like this, stable line, it means you're dead. Beep. Life is ups and downs, ups and downs. And it's knowing how, when it's down, how do you swim back to go back up? Because at the end of the day, whomever you are, you're going to have ups and downs in your life. And at the end of the day, it's going to be like, How am I going to manage those ups and downs? When I'm up, can I be humble enough to not have a big head and think I'm entitled? When I'm down, can I do what I have to do to believe in myself and go back up? And that's been my life. No filter.
Bitch, you should have told me.
That's what it
Beatrice
is.
Celestin, alors, Beatrice, c'est une amie de longue date. Ce matin, j'ai reçu Beatrice pour parler de fitness et bodybuilding. Et puis voilà que Beatrice nous parle de dépression et ça, son expérience. Même moi, qui est son ami, I didn't know about that. I think I remember, because you know what happens? I'm being honest with you. I'm going to get this exprès. Il y a un peu de choses que j'ai oublié après l'accident. Même songer où t'es sorti ou sur audio, was it that? But I don't remember what it was about. But now, when you're talking about it, moi songer t'es parlé de ça. Et moi quand on parle de ça parce que c'est un sujet tabou, la dépression. On va parler de ça. Et je suis que pile monde, surtout dans le moment ça, pas besoin ouais, un pile monde déprimé.
Yes, and you know what? Let me tell you something. And you live in a world where the way the world is going, you cannot escape those types of, mental issues, right? Going back to social media plays a lot with people's self-esteem. You can just go with just the filters that you have available. It's almost like those filters are saying, you're not beautiful enough. Let me make you beautiful to the public. And some people, they use the filters to have fun. I use filters to have fun. But some people, they do use it because they do believe that they don't look good. And in order to find likes, to get attention, they have to put that makeup. They have to put those filters. And they becoming that other persona that then after the social media behind closed door, they are depressed. Right? So.
Occuper mon cap, tu parles clair, je parle langue confortable avec
là. Écoute, combien de fois moi je vois commentaire ça, but it's okay.
Mon n'a pas sur loi qui langue pour parler. Moi dis ça déjà ici. Son show pour moun évoluer. L'anglais n'est pas meilleur que le créole, non? L'anglais n'est pas meilleur que le français. Mais l'anglais c'est une langue
l'anglais est global et commercial. Et tu sais, the other thing again is the constant bullying that does not stop, right? And more, you get more and more bully. And now with the digital world, you get cyberbullying. And people don't talk about it, and you have to talk about it. People are judgmental. People, it's easy to point the finger at somebody else because, they don't want to do it here, right? They don't want to face this. So it's easier to say, Evelyn is this, Beatrice is that, Ethel is this, Ethel is that.
Guess what?
It's easy to point the fingers.
Listen, guess what? Yesterday, I'm fait faire live avec Luc. Moi, on regarde live là, mais quand on regarde live la fin live là, moi, je dis pile bagage que puis moi pas content. Premièrement, moi dis ça and I don't know why people are surprised because this is how I am. I am no filter. Existence moi pas fait pour faire plaisir. Bon Dieu pas créer sous terre pour me tequila ni pour me Santa Claus. Moi pas là pour faire cœur content. Le moi font bagay cœur pas content, c'est ou même qui ont problème parce que ça c'est choix pam. Moi recevoir Laurent Lamotte le choix en pile moun fâché. Même gens, l'aime talent 40 ans ça va avec Laurent Lamotte en pile moun fâché. That is my business.
Exactly.
That is my show. Ou pas content moun moi recevoir unfollow. Et c'est la loi est une pour tout le monde. Ou pas obligé vos opinions sur choix l'autre monde.
Exactement. Et moi je dis ça toujours. Ma relation, for example, ma relation avec Hugueline n'est pas obligée de déterminer la relation de Hugueline avec quelqu'un d'autre, ni la relation de Beatrice avec quelqu'un d'autre. Everybody has their unique relationship. And I can be friends with Hugueline while I'm friends with somebody that is not friends with Hugueline. And it's okay because it's my life. But people don't understand that here. You know, everything is too damn emotional, right? And at the end of the day, you become like a bad judge, judging people and saying this and saying that and whatever, right? So, mais pour retourner sur cette affaire de mental awareness, it's important to talk about it. And let me tell you something. It took me a while to talk about it. It took me like, what, 19 years to tell people about it. People that knew, but it took me 19 years. But I will tell you how I felt when I recorded that podcast and then I put it out there. Wow.
Relieved.
I felt like I had a bunch of dumbbells on my shoulders and I just did like this. You know, it's like I released everything. And I faced the public and I'm like, this is me. And guess what? I'm not perfect. I will never be perfect. So are you. Not perfect. We all have flaws. Tout le monde a un squelette en dedans la moelle. Everybody. Nobody is perfect. So who are you to judge me at the end of the day? Right? I do me, you do you. But I face my flaws because at the end of the day, those same flaws are the result of who I am today.
Ooh.
They're part of my success today. And that's why when those bigs out there are telling you that success is going through failure and failure and failure until you make it, they're right. Because if you don't know how to fall and get back up, I mean, Udlin, you know, I'm a project junkie, you know that. You know how many projects I did? In my mind, it's like, woo, bel bagay, puis poop, di pa bon même, di pa réussi. And what, I'm gonna, you know, put myself down for that? No, next. What's next? This didn't work. Let's go to another one. Même bal tout l'ol marché. L'ol fin marché, you don't stay and talk about it all the time and just stay there. And that's one of our problems, us Haitians. Nous get là 1804 et puis nous pas faire rien. Right? You're done doing this, what's next? Because it doesn't stop, you have to move forward.
Woo! Beatrice Celestin, what will be your message to qui message tu as gagné pour mesdames qui la k'ap gade parce que toujours pousser ça ici a sous notre travail jodi on pas remen quitter soit faut ba jodi on pas remen quitter parce que rester là de nous pas remen là pas mettre rien pour pas vivre vérité ou qui message qui pour mesdames ça yo qui regarde live ça yo qui still undecided qui dit pas rien choix pas connait moi peur qui sont les boutiques pour mesdames ça yo k'ap gade matin.
I want to tell to women out there that they carry a power beyond compare. And that's why they have that natural ability to survive machism. And we live in a country where machism is omnipresent. But when you see the women out there that deal with the machism, and you see how they succeed, respect comes after that. And it's all that matters at the end of the day, that you do what is it that you love. Fuck machism. Because machism at the end of the day is just a tool of self-absorbed people that don't know how to appreciate greatness. So be great. Be you.
Say it again.
Do you.
Say it again.
Machism is a tool used by the self-absorbed because they don't believe in themselves. Be you, do you, be great.
Wow. Listen, I'm going to take that part of the interview and play it over and over and over again. Gardez comment on fait autour du matin, on va parler de body fitness, de tomber la dépression. Beatrice, thank you so much. You know I love you, right? I don't need to say, you know I love you.
I know that. I know that.
Un suspens ouais chaque
And
fois.
you know it's the same.
Non, listen. Non, plus de
Come
monde
to
qui
the
aime
gym,
yo.
damn it.
Eh?
Come to the gym. Brigitte avait m'aptan nou.
Ou konen paresseuse, pas vrai? I'm lazy. Si ou ka fè mi
Well,
j'on fè mi à Karel là, parce que moi Karel l'autre jour, moi Karel devant l'autre monde. I'm like,
ben,
hey Karel,
Vini.
looking all sexy.
Vini, m'aptan nou.
Ok, mais même qui va faire défi par même toujours dis, ok, on va commencer lundi ou le 15, je te promets. Je te promets, oui, moi je promets devant caméra. Je commence lundi.
Ok.
C'est une grande conférence week-end ça. Je commence lundi. Lundi, vers 11h après nos filtres, l'on fini. Expect préparer notre fit zone avec tennis moi. Quel tennis ça est?
We'll get you one if you want one. Qui size feel?
Leggings.
Qui size feel?
8. You know, pour
Okay.
le 99 standard, même pour mon grand tennis. So I'm gonna wear leggings. I have a nice Nike top and Adidas top. I don't have anything for my hands yet. So I'm coming Monday. Okay?
We'll hook
Et
you
puis, moi,
up.
je
Don't
besoin de
worry.
monde qui là, yo, courir derrière Lucy. Lundi après, je dit, Eglin, go to the gym. I'm gonna go. And guess what? You know what's good? You know good thing about me? Moi, pas en mi-temps. Moi, je suis qui extrême droite, extrême gauche.
Extrême, voilà.
Ça veut dire, dès qu'il aime commencer, et on après me faire 3 heures par jour le gym.
Mais tu sais quoi? To go back, comme on t'a fait parler de fitness, to go back to it, at the end of the day, getting moving is finding that fitness activity that you love. It may not be bodybuilding, it might be a class, it might be spinning, it might be whatever. But once you find it, you're gonna see, you're gonna get into it.
But you know the problem I have, c'est bon, excuse-moi, chercher. Pourquoi on est depuis un petit accident? Il va pas qu'à faire encore. Comme pas
Mais c'est normal. Écoute, moi-même déclaré dans d'Achille, moi. I spent a lot of time not being able to work out my legs until I did therapy and I go back to it. You know? No excuse. On allez, Vini.
Lundi. Beatrice, thank you
All
for
right.
sharing your story. Thank you for being the person that you are.
Thank you
I know this live is gonna help somebody that don't talk about depression.
I hope it does, because we have to talk about it. We don't talk enough about it. And there are too many depressed people out there.
Thank you.
All right.
Monday.
Ciao.
I'll be there.
Yes. All right.
All right, babe.
Waiting for you.
I'm gonna get my sneakers clean right now.
All right.
Ciao.
Okay, bye.
Oh my God. C'était Beatrice Celestin. Please follow her. Elle est une amie de plus de 12 ans. She's always been nice. And that's a good thing. When the last memory you have of somebody is positive. Et me toujours dit ça. Quel que soit vous nous rencontrer, essayez le plus possible qui ton ou image positive ou bien un message positif. Hier soir, un artiste qui écrit, ou monde me connaît, lui matin fâché, peut-être moi dit m'occuper. Moi dit, ça fait mal que li dormi connaît que moi parler avec mal, but guess what? Suspend traduit ça moun a dit avec sentiment moun sur WhatsApp. Ou pas qu'à faire conclusion de sentiment moun sur WhatsApp. Ou pas qu'à dire, oh, moun n'a parlé de la parce que moun n'a dit nous occuper. Moun gen doit occuper. Surtout l'homme pas rendez-vous, etc. Et guess what? On bagay avec, leur écrit, m'a répond nous. De vous parler, lundi, bonjour, comment vas-tu? Ou poser une question, qui doit répondre nous. Même Abdou, m'est occupé, m'a répondu à 5 heures and everything. Moi, juste pas ignorer le message. Parce que m'essayer le plus possible, pas faire moun, ça m'a pas d'arriver faire. M'pas dit m'faire tout le temps, non? Mais c'est le plus possible. Gadi 99%. Par exemple, matin, me lever, moi, Ingrid écrit depuis 3 jours. Je me dis, my God, comment on fait pas les messages? Parce que tellement des fois, pour recevoir des messages, là, l'en banette, et c'est pas habitude, parce que le soir, je me dis tout message, je ne peux pas aimer les gens, pas répondre tout. Mais suspend traduit, j'en mon a fil. Parce que moi, je dois occuper. L'homme vient là, me faire live là, moi, content, parce que moi, je partager des histoires avec nos expériences et tout ça. Et l'homme fin faire live là, je travaille à mon bureau, je prends les roues, etc. Je ne pas chita là, et je ne pas faire rien, je ne répondre tout le monde. Téléphone, nous avons géré par un monde qui a commenté. Si nous besoin personnellement, vos messages. Je reste disposé et disponible pour les choses sérieuses. Je ne veux pas être arrogant pour dire, oh, I'm not answering people, but there are people wasting people's time. I don't have time for that. Okay? Merci beaucoup, Kev.